Welcome to CSS text formatting tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going through different CSS properties which can be used for text formatting. So here we defined many selectors, say like body selector and H1 selector and anchor selector. And we also had a couple of classes present like uppercase and indent, and we applied the corresponding selectors in this example. So let's initially load the web page and see how it renders in the browser. Okay, so this is how the example default looks like. So let's go through each and every property to understand how each and every property affects the text here. So as you can see, the body selector is actually carrying the color red. And if you actually see, now most of the text is actually present in the color red. But when you actually see the Google website and the heading one are actually carrying different colors due to overriding attributes which are actually coming from the anchor text behavior and also with the H1 selector taking a different value. So if we proceed to the next attribute, you could see in H1 selector, we actually had a text align to be center. So in this example, we had one H1, which is heading one. And if you see in the browser, this is actually making the text to be centered here. We could also use some value like left or right, and by default it goes with the left. So if we actually use right, so now you could actually see the text is actually aligned to the right side. And you could also try to decorate the text by using text dash decoration property. So here by default we actually provided a line which is actually creating the overline above the heading one. So we could also use different values like the line through and underline. So let's just uncomment those and verify how those would affect the heading one here. Okay. So the line through is actually making a line striking across the heading here. We could also try out the other value underline. So let's uncomment that. Okay. So now it appears as an underline below the heading one. There is one other attribute, letter spacing, which actually creates the spacing between the letters within the text. So if we actually uncomment this and verify here, you could see there's a spacing introduced between each characters here. Let's try to increase the spacing and check that effect. Okay, so now you could actually see there's a lot more spacing within the characters. But instead, if we are actually interested in introducing spaces between the words, we could actually try to reload this. Yeah, okay. And let's apply this attribute word spacing. So this primarily introduces spacing between the words instead of characters. So here we could see the characters are not spaced, but the words are actually spaced more. We could try to increase this to a higher value and verify. Okay, so still the characters are same, but the word spacing is more here. And text decoration can also be used in many occasions to remove the default underline behavior of the anchor link. So in this example, we actually have a anchor link which is actually pointing to Google website. So if we actually comment this and verify the default behavior of anchor link, so this is how the default anchor link would appear. This comes with a default underline. So we could actually place this text decoration CSS property in order to remove that default behavior. Okay, so now you could see this just appears like a normal text, and if you hover, you could find it out like an anchor link, and if you click it, it will be still accessible. So few other properties which we could look through are text transform and text indent. So let's go through what text transform does. So text transform here is actually being applied only to this particular paragraph along with a class selected to be uppercase. So if you see in the default example here, it is actually presenting all the characters in uppercase. But whereas you actually verify the text here, this is just written the same way how the first paragraph and the fourth paragraph here are written, but it's actually converting all characters into uppercase. We could also use different attributes like different attribute values like lowercase and capitalize. So let's just quickly see how lowercase would actually affect it. Okay. So now you could see, in spite of having few capital letters, we still have everything converted to be lowercase as we actually specified the text transform to be lowercase. So we'll also try out the other value capitalize and let's just quickly uncomment that. Okay. So now you could see all the first characters are actually being converted into caps and the other are in lowercase. So the last property here we could actually verify through is the text indent, and this actually introduces some indentation in the first line of the paragraph. So here in this example we are applying the indentation to this particular text paragraph 4. So if you actually see there's a subtle difference between the alignment of these paragraph elements and this paragraph element, so that is actually coming due to this 10 pixel. So we could actually try to increase this and verify how it appears. Okay, so now you could see 100 pixel indentation is actually added before this paragraph text. So in this way, we could actually format uh, text using various CSS text formatting properties. Thanks for watching.